Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Daily Whistling. Stacie Mallen is back, and today we are talking about great culture and paying tribute to culture engineer Tom Frank himself. So, Stacie, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to pay tribute to one of the best people I've ever talked with about culture. And Tom was on our podcast several times. He was such an incredible guest. Actually, one time at Phoenix Startup Week, at Arizona Startup Week, he and I shared a stage. It was called the Rebel and the Troublemaker, and that was just totally our jam. Just doing things differently. But one of the things that Tom was really passionate about was building great culture. He was one of the original founding members of PF Chang's back when they were just one restaurant in Scottsdale, and before they kind of burgeoned into the massive organization they've become. And he focused his entire career on the service industry. And even during COVID, he launched the I'm Essential project, which is about people in that industry feeling seen and heard, and heard in their struggle. But one thing, one of his quotes that he said all the time is that a worm in horseradish only knows horseradish, which, if you knew Tom, would just be such a Tom-ism to say. And what he meant by that is that, like, what is culture? What is culture? What does it mean? How do you change it if you're in the middle of it? When you're so immersed in it, how do you see it for what it is? And if you want the full kind of download on the story of what culture means to Tom, I posted that today. But in short, one thing that he said a lot was, leadership is art, or culture is already there. Your employees already know what the culture is. It's existing. So how do you change it? And it starts by how leaders behave, how they act, how they show up. So some things that we talked about a lot was being on time for meetings. Are you on time for meetings? Are you respectful of people? We've talked about that before, you and I, but just little things that you do as a leader. Do you ask people questions and listen? Do you stop and listen to what people say? At all levels of your organization, regardless of where you are at a leadership level, he talked about this in the service industry a lot, just walking through and having conversations and knowing people. Being authentic about what's happening in your culture. So he always used to say, we can't say we're a smoke-free environment when everybody's in the back of the restaurant, out the back door smoking. Everybody sees that when they walk in and they know what really is happening. So really being authentic to your culture. And I think something that he would be really proud of is if you're out and about, help people be seen and be heard by recognizing whatever, the Starbucks barista that gets you coffee or somebody that helps you at the grocery store today. Just thank them for the work that they do in his legacy, because it is such an important thing to recognize the people that are out there doing that kind of work. And I think as leaders, recognizing and be grateful for the people that we work with every single day. So I think he'd be really proud if he knew that that's the legacy that he left, and that people today took action to just help people feel that way.
I think this is a great reminder for everyone, especially as we have team members returning to the office. So some of those individuals have been feeling a little disconnected, and now more than ever, organizations are taking a hard look at redefining what their culture is. So some great stories there, Stacie. Really appreciate you sharing the story about Tom and paying tribute to him, because I do think he was such a great influencer when it comes to building strong company cultures here in the Phoenix Metro. So Stacie, as we'd like to wrap up today's conversation, is there anything else that you'd like to leave our audience with?
No, the last thing he would tell you to do is go eat some good food. He was such a foodie. Go eat some good food today on his behalf. I had chips and queso last night on his behalf. It's my favorite food. But enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. I think he lived his life to the fullest. So that's something else he would really appreciate everybody doing today.
Great. Well, Stacie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.